So the memories from before, a lot of the memories I have were like the times that I was living in some of these other previous paths. It was used as like a setup, a model system. It was almost like people were aware, the people that I was running with in those times, some of those times, were aware of like what I was going to be doing today in this life of mine. And so we set up scenarios so that when I'm coming through in this life, I would remember, based on, those similar scenarios. But, I, as I'm going along, I have memories of all kinds of people, people that I worked with, people I went to school with, my friends, my family, um, people that I only see in the media in this life. I'm like, oh yeah, I have these. That's strange. I remember meeting with so and so or so and so, people who I've never met with in this life. And then of course there's like this cloud of people who I know that I met with a whole bunch of people who I've never even seen the likes of in person or in the media. So it's really strange and interesting. It's strange and interesting at the same time. Um, so I literally, probably everyone that I walk by on the streets, I may have had conversations with in previous paths. It's pretty crazy, however, in the course of many repeats and repeats and repeats, you could see how it could happen. And, it seems like I dealt with a hell of a lot of you. And, sometimes we're bad, sometimes we're good. I'm just hoping that we can sort of come up to speed and get everybody on the same page that, hey, this is the way that life operates. We're bound to even, here I am in this life. This is bound at some point. I have my theories, how it starts over, and they're only theories, you know, um, but we're bound to even come through this again. So maybe I look at it as a progression. We can keep making things better and better. It's like evolution, if you will. Um, I was going to go into some details here, but I won't. I think I just want to keep it simple and say that, when I see this woman again, I'll have more proof. But I mean, the trails that I'll be on. Um, but anyways, just about the particular setups, I wager that a lot of the setups. Well, let me give you an example, just so you know what I mean by the setups. Like for example, say that I go to a street concert to just yesterday, right? Well, imagine in some previous time, they took me there and set up like a mock setup of that, or they took me to the scene. People were pointing things out, a whole variety of things, and showing me so when I would come through in this life, it would sort of enter in and jog my mind, like, oh wow, that's pretty interesting, that's crazy. Like it was like a setup to remind me, as I come through in this life. Um, just it's weird, There were other things. Sometimes there were a lot of people who they asked me like, well, what can I do to help? There were people, and sometimes we maybe it was in those times where we didn't know I didn't know what to tell people. I'm like, well, you know what, just do your job. Some people were like fellow real estate agents or something. I said, well, just be all you can be as a real estate agent and do that. And let's when this all comes out, then if you want to be, just we'd like your vote for the new party or whatever it is that we're putting together here, right? Again, this is for everyone. I'm not dividing lines by saying this. This is something that everyone is going to want to, this involves everyone. This is really all about soulmates at the end of it, but it's also about how we live to get back to the love. And some of us, again, I don't want to go into the details of soulmates in this. Some of us may or may not see our soulmates in this life, but it's not just about this life, it's about any other given future life. You have to see my other videos to kind of see what I'm saying about that. So, well, again, there were things about my relatives, like for example, my grandmother. At one time, this is just a spotted memory. She'd be like writing stuff down in other lifetimes. It was almost like there was like training, and it was just that simple thing of like, oh, don't be afraid to take notes or always write things down. You could say, oh yeah, well she did things in this life for me too, but these memories, there's some from previous times. So, so if it was all to remind me, well, if I could ever get back to playing my guitar, if I ever get back to playing my guitar, I would cover out that Nickelback song with the line, this is how you remind me. That is a song I think is multifaceted as it connects all of us. I mean, the scope of this and what it is to say. We have all been down to the bottom of the bottle in one time or another. Put bottom of the bottle in quotes, guys could be so symbolic to many things. um, if you think you were immune to that bottle drop, I would ask or suggest that you reconsider. The goal is to get to that peaceful, fair, safe, happy world where we can all be in love and have fun. Is that, I believe, is what life is really all about in human terms, right? We want to love and we want to have fun. So anyways, so besides memories that some of us may have of these alternate paths, there were sometimes we would have photos and videos from previous lifetimes. And that is also how sometimes some of us would be reminded. Like, wow, that's crazy. Now you'd have to be careful because sometimes people would show you footage that was your brother, looked like you, or something wasn't you. And that's just another thing in general. If we have satellite footage of someone doing something, well, it's still not. You don't know if it's that person. It could be his twin brother or his clone brother from the other sector. I don't know the vast nature of this universe. There's all kinds of weird things. So you can only use it as sort of guideposts. And I mean, the hope in general, getting to get into this in some other videos here, but crime, any kind of wrongdoing is going to really be diminished, if not put to void, as a result of sort of coming to the table with all this stuff and remembering and all of that stuff. So that's just my theory and my hope, anyways. So I guess we'll see what transpires. I could say more. I could take questions from the audience and answer any questions about these, when I'm claiming that I recall pieces of memories from other lifetimes, and there's different times. I'm saying it's weird. Like some of the times were like setups, and then some of the times were just like living a normal life, like going through my life, and just repeating it. So it was like, it depended. There were different memories, and some were like from different times altogether, but they're like more distant. It's almost like the memories that I remember the most are the repeats. And maybe it's just because I needed those. Like this is all about a needs-based application almost. Like I needed it to tell these tales and all these videos that I'm making. Check all the other videos out and everything about if you want to learn more about who I am. I'm just your fellow brother, no one special. Just went through some sort of process, is what my claim is. So anyways, thank you for tuning in, and I hope your day is well wherever you are. Hope in great peace.